I do think this final is maybe a bit more competitive.
Definitely, yeah.
I
I think
think
it's
so.
a
overall.
lot
Yeah.
closer. Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
going to
but
be a lot closer because Arsenal are like
Yeah.
very solid, very
Yeah,
compact
yeah.
in all phases, like defense, attack, midfield, just fully set. And PSG, on the other hand, are like the complete opposite end of the spectrum where
Yeah.
you
Yep.
just get them fully on an attack mode. So it'll be interesting to see how it really plays out. I think it's going to be closer
Basically,
than last year's final.
I feel like
I
it'll
think
go
it's
to
like
extra time. I feel like it'll go to extra time. Maybe not pens, but I think extra time for sure.
I saw
Mm.
something interesting where someone said that Arsenal might also almost need to embrace what they've been accused of being this season, and that is a team that's anti-football and that resorts to like set pieces and free kicks to win games. That
Yeah.
might be their best chance
Yeah.
against a team like PSG. Something
PSG.
that they could basically nick a goal from and then maybe just hope to like control the rest of the game, like control the
Yeah.
tempo and stuff like
Does
that.
Arsenal have anyone to do something on the counter?
That's kind of been their weakness, I think, all season is that they don't really score a lot of goals from open play. They rely a lot upon set pieces and they also do a lot of patient build-up play. You don't see them scoring a lot of goals on the counter or like running through defenses with players who can just take them men on. Where you have that kind of ability in PSG team, for instance, with Kvaratskhelia, Dembele, Doué. They don't really have that in the Arsenal team as such, but what they are is like a very well-run unit. So they will basically suffocate you by not allowing you a lot of space in. But then when they get on the ball themselves, they will try to exploit a lot of the spaces in behind through just patient
Yeah.
build-up play, I find, all through set pieces. And that's why I think they're deadly. I don't think they have like that magic one or two player who can just turn the game on their head for them, like a Gyökeres or Saka.
So, most important player for Arsenal in the finals, one single player.
For me, I think it might come down to the midfield. So I think Declan Rice probably
That's a
Okay.
good
would
one,
be.
yeah.
Box
Yeah,
to
I
box,
think Declan Rice.
up and down, maybe a goal too.
Actually, what I've noticed recently with Arsenal is actually Declan Rice doesn't do a lot of box to box. What you see him doing now is like kind of being that last man almost when Arsenal are going up the pitch.
Almost as like a screen, yeah,
A
for that
screen.
defense.
He's there
Yeah.
in that screen. So he's just like stopping a lot of, he's being very smart and clever and stopping a lot of the counters that break out. And then
Okay.
when they're building out also from the back, he is the one dropping really deep to receive the ball in the tight spaces, turn, and then just let go of the ball and find the person running in behind, like the Gyökeres, like the Saka
Right.
Okay.
or
Right.
Martinelli, whoever's playing out wide.
Right.
So
Right.
I think Declan Rice, in that sense, he doesn't do a lot of box to box. I see maybe Arteta has changed a little bit of his tactic in how to utilize his attacking flair to let them be a little bit free is by maybe
Okay.
allowing Declan Rice to sit back a little bit and find those people running.
Right.
Like, because you saw, like, in the game against Bayern, like, Vitinha, like, controls the tempo. Even Fabian Ruiz, I think, like, someone like Rice
Yeah.
would actually be key for them. I actually don't know if Arsenal will have too much success on, like, the counter. I feel they might be prepared to accept the fact that they're gonna cede possession for like large parts of the game. And I
Yeah.
feel like actually I was looking at the numbers as well. So apparently in like the Champions League this season, PSG have, I think, alongside Barca, have the highest amount of possession per game, close to about 63%, right?
Wow.
They average about 63% possession. Also in terms of like their goals scored, they've scored about 40, I think 44 goals in comparison to Arsenal's 29. But if you look at the defensive side, then you see that Arsenal have conceded like the least number of goals also in the Champions League. Like they've only conceded 6 goals until now.
Right.
Wow.
So I guess the implication from the stats would probably be that, yeah, like I said, PSG will maybe boss possession. Arsenal will look to like sit deep and then try and go long. I think obviously, yeah, like we've seen, I think I don't want to, yeah, I think if I can use it as an example, maybe that United game that we won at the Emirates also, we saw that Arsenal were kind of vulnerable on the counter. And I think PSG, like that front three, is capable of like destroying like any defense on their day. Like they can change the game in a matter of minutes. They're always looking to kind of attack those space, and I think that's something that they could basically exploit. And another interesting thing I saw is that Arsenal actually facing like a bit of a defensive crisis with their fullbacks. So like I think it's Ben White and who's the
Nketiah?
other guy? I think Julian Timber missing on that missing.
Yeah, they're missing. They're both missing. Yes, correct.
Yeah, so
Oh.
that right hand side is what it could come down to. I feel like Kvaratskhelia versus whoever slots in on that right side for them could be like a key tactical battle in the game. And I think would come down to like how well they cope with that, like how they're, I guess, if you want to call it like makeshift fullbacks, like cope with the threat of like Doué and Kvaratskhelia on the wings.
That's cool.
So that'll be interesting to see.
Ooh, that's great. That's great. Good points.
What do you guys
Ruben,
think,
you
Ruben?
want to add something, Ruben?
I think we have covered pretty much. I think it would come down to, it tells me it's as much as I want to see PSG win it. I don't know, like I feel like Arsenal will hold out long enough, and then like one random corner, like on free kick, and they just head it in. And it's gonna be a
Yep.
1-0 game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Arsenal's key thing is for Arsenal to win, they have to score first. I feel like if PSG score
Yep.
first, that game's gonna open up a lot more because then Arsenal are forced to come out and play, and then that's when they're the weakest.
That's true. That's true.
Yep.
That makes
And
sense.
actually,
Arsenal's,
statistically, Arsenal have been this year the number one team in scoring the first goal.
Oh,
Yeah, they
okay.
always get the first goal.
Did
And
not
actually,
know
they
that.
are also the team that happened to be number one in getting their first goal via a set piece. So it's a free kick or a corner. So
Wow, okay.
yeah, so you're right. I think set pieces is going to be the most lethal weapon. I think Arsenal have
Yeah.
are set pieces, and literally every single one they take is an event in itself because it's going to create a chance.
right.
What do you think, Vishnu?
I think-
Who you got?
I think if I was watching the game from a Barcelona perspective, I'd expect PSG to win because they've got that skill to keep the ball and they can pass the ball between the lines and you can defend how much ever, but then if you are, parking the bus against a team that can really play between the lines, that's all I see all in La Liga, frankly. So I just feel like PSG should do it again only because it's a Champions League final and it's like a one-off game. You can't just get away with a point or, see for the next second half. That's the only place where I feel like Arsenal, the mentality could change in the PSG players, even Arsenal players, and that could edge. And frankly, my prediction is Arsenal's going to win it 2-1. Both goals will be scored by Arsenal first, and then it's going to be like park the bus. They're going to get in a goal back maybe, but then it's going to be 90 minutes, 2-1.
I actually had it the other way.
Karambol.
I actually had it the other way. I had PSG.
Yeah.
I have PSG winning 2-1 actually. I don't think it'll
Okay.
be as one-sided as maybe last year's final, but I think for Arsenal they're gonna have to try and make it like a very compact and like a very physical game almost to kind of like upset that control
Yeah.
that PSG would
Yeah.
have in like
Yeah,
midfield.
push
True.
them, put them off.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. I also saw something very interesting that if you look at the Club World Cup final that they lost to Chelsea, that PSG lost. So what Maresca had done was that he basically employed Cole Palmer as like this inverted sort of right, and he was kind of operating in the spaces between like the left back and like the left center back. And you had someone like you had Chelsea's left back pushing further up for support, and alternatively on the right hand side you basically had Cucurella slotting into midfield to like give them that extra sort of like passing option, and then you had I think it was Pedro Neto who was basically tasked with like making sure Hakimi doesn't get forward to support Doué, and they kind of found like some success in that, and they were able to basically neutralize PSG's threat. So that's basically something that maybe Arsenal could look at, but I mean, it's just something interesting, I thought.
It's different though as a Champions League final. I
It
guess
is, of course.
Yeah.
players and managers tend to take it a little bit more seriously.
Yeah.
But actually,
Why I said that is sorry. My point was I wanted to come to is that Calafiori we have seen I think for Arsenal is that he tends to like slot into like midfield naturally like on that right hand side. So I do think there's like some sort of similarity, and I guess it's interesting to see if whether that's something Arteta would have maybe noticed or like try to like emulate as well.
But that kind of divides the room. I see. I guess Vishnu and me are more, I guess, on the negative side, thinking Arsenal are going to win, and I guess Ruben and Jervis think it's PSG. But actually, it raises an interesting question for me. If you remove the fact that this is a Champions League final, just let's ignore that as the context. PSG versus Arsenal, actually, who is the better team?
PSG, undoubtedly.
PSG.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, PSG. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I guess is also telling that when it comes to a Champions League final, it's a one-off game, and
Yeah.
it could just go any way. Either way,
Yeah.
your form
Yeah.
before in the last 5 games or the last 30 games just goes out of the window because
Yeah.
in that one-off game, anything could happen.
I was just re-watching Neymar's career highlights, and he had reached the finals with PSG, bro.
He did
He did it himself,
Yeah.
and he played Bayern.
in that final.
And
Yes.
and just when we had this conversation about one-off game, it was a 1-0 game. So
Yeah.
close to, getting PSG to what no one could. But yeah, one-off games, just can't say.
But also, I like just both teams, in a way, you could also look at them, PSG and Arsenal both, as being teams right now where they are after having gone through quite a turbulent period, like sort of during COVID, just pre-COVID. PSG with their sort of Galactico era with Neymar, Messi, Mbappe,
Yeah.
just struggling to basically get over that final hurdle in Europe.
Yep.
Arsenal, on the other hand, also struggling at the start of Arteta's career as a manager with them, and how basically they've come like a pretty long way. Both required a full reset of their team, removing
Yeah.
and extracting all of the big egos out of the team, shifting the mentality within the club, setting up such strong principles that everyone from the top to the bottom of the institution follows those things. Everyone is on board together. So in that sense also, I think that's why it's going to be like a very close and quite an interesting clash tomorrow, day after tomorrow, to see how it actually plays out. And maybe my bias towards choosing Arsenal is purely because maybe it might be that the luck is finally starting to favor them a little bit.
That's a good point.
True.
Yep.
True. I think that sums up Champions League final.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
reckon. Yes.